Yata Lama Tsonga Bill Ni Lora Didele Karisumarsena Ni Sote Sela Ujit Japote Jona Yome Rei Umbucha Tuna give me Pakalanju Lise Les Rui de Chendres Ani Tenixi Kushi Sumares.
The great Tibetan Lama Jetson he said in his writing called The Concise Meaning of the Stages of the Path. He says that the a stabilized like a state of mind, a stabilized state of mind is like a king, ruling over the mind. So with it, then if we or if with it, then our mind can sit, unmoving, like a mountain, and also the mind can, when we let the mind to go, then it can go after after all the virtuous, virtuous objects, and also it can also enhance the like a great sense of bliss, great bliss, experience of great bliss, which will then or which has the effect of making both our mind and the body very easily like serviceables, easily whatever we do becomes very easily effective, easy and effective, and so so understanding this, so the meditators then constantly apply like a concentrations, and overcome or overcome the enemy of mental distractions.
Tati Karasungo Yorsena, Maso Nonji Gomji Jadigore, Gonju Dasena, Dane, Nondo Gonji Jadigore. And it Karasungo Yorsena, Gon Jabala Tene, any page Sungore. Any Kesi Gonjane, Gonte Yapuj Chasuna, Pen Carriores, or Tictendo Shayores.
So we are all into meditation practice, and so in this quotation, so we really find about the benefits, mainly the benefits of the of meditation practice.
Ti kar nonji ngaro chen ngaro so ne ngaro so te ni sang jesan ro sang te ne nyemu du no to la su pi jesan ro ne ni nyoda mo ji yong de ko ro ba ane te za ta tni gon ja jo wai na te gon te ya po ji cho so na ni sang te ni ta kar se na u sa chu ma la ma zo lo u ji bi ja bo no ji cho no ko yo res te za ne Rejabu Ranuji, Notula Supa Sachiga, Ni Yongi, Gijutung Tamares, or Tanishi Yores.
So if we look into the cause of all the troubles and the problems that we face in our life, then the main cause is all these things, problems, problems, begins with our mind. And so how it begins, because we lack control we lack control over our mind, and so our mind is instead of under our control, our mind is always is overpowered by some thoughts, unruly or disturbing thoughts, and also some destructive emotions. Always falls under, goes after those disturbing thoughts and the emotions. And so as a result of that, obviously as a result of this, we experience problems. Whether it's form of experiencing some mental stress, anxieties, and any such the unhappiness. So this is all we can see is all related to this arising of, or is all caused by this disturbing thoughts and the destructive emotions, which we call as mental defilements or the afflictions. So therefore, as this great master said in these above quotations, so where he says how through training our mind, through meditation practice, through training our mind, then we can the completely the control, bring the mind under our control in the sense, in such that it cannot be like it's saying here. The mind can become like a unmoving, can sit unmoving like a mountains. So which is to say that how through the power of the meditation in terms of disciplining our mind so that it is not our mind is not overpowered or not really falls under the influence of these various thoughts and any external distractions, and so in this way we find here how through meditation practice and how subduing our mind that we can overcome the problems.
Dila tseg mare tani go gong yuda te yapu cho sona nga chi leka kar chewa ina loju kar chewa ina ani tindi leka cheji te loju chi te sola ani sense chi te net gores no yu shul mo ro chi sense chi te net gores sense chi te net sona ani leka kar ina ani loju ina la leka ina da pi le labing gune ani sanwa chi to le labang gune ni shi ma shi
So there's also a lot of other the benefits of meditation in our for examples, whatever we can have more better focus. We'll have better focus on whatever activities that we engage in. Or, even if we are, studying any courses, then we can have a much better, more mental focus on our activities, and even such that we can have a single pointed. We can be able to completely or single pointedly have the focus of our mind on those activities, and so this because of this our training of the mind and our familiarity with the meditation practice, that we can prevent. We'll be able to prevent and all other distractions to for our activities.
Matse ne gon loju che gon loju da chi tisala ane te khare jogor sena macho nonji sen shirot chu chung chwa de za tela stindi ge sen tela shirol chwa mu che wa drenwa ji zo yo res drenwa ji ane ya tela chewa che wa na tni maris ane te za ta nga chi nyamba ta ti nyole chi tisala sen towa phe ko ne Setron poi con gnole chegore, tindi chewaina susisente ya jinju pandro pendo yores.
So when we talk about like the disciplining and our mind through meditation practice, so we're not talking about something which we are enforcing our mind to do certain things, but by force, So rather, with the meditation, kind of the discipline that we can we can adopt on our mental level and on our on the level of our physical actions. So it's through this meditation practice. So it happens more in a way, in a joyful way, and so therefore as we develop this more mental control of our mind and mental disciplines, so there we will also find more a joy in whatever activities that we undertake.
Tene gong yuda kase chewa tezonji ni kase yuda yapun che yoko. Yuda yapun che sona yuda yapun kase chewa tezonji ni susi jila dunga mewa ta. Ni kontro la supi ki nyimu di chunu rowa ta. Ni sen shiro ta iwa la supa nyuwa ta. Ni tela tene ni sen ni dunga nyuwa. Ni dewa muwa tani yungu yores.
So we will find that with the meditation practice, so we can we'll find the decreasing. We'll be able to decrease more, like on the one hand, all such like unwanted thoughts and unwanted emotions, such as like angers and thoughts like such like the external. Distractions, and then conversely, then as this such we be able to reduce the amount of such unwanted thoughts and emotions. Then we will find there's an increase of more the stabilities, inwardly more stability, and there's more peace and happiness.
So that ngaso leka chidi salani leka chepin rewa pesho kande jindi tagarwa pesho mombondi yunyundi mombondi na gaji troji tin jugurwa ten uji go ni tuma ni gon chin rewa tela yapun du mundu ni tel sono toji kechi mo isares te yapo jin tonsona ni gon nyole chewala ni se trowa to teme gone njupa yungu yores.
So it is like just as any the activities that we undertake in our life. So we would have, if we see more like benefits in that, then we will be very inclined to do those, perceive those activities very the enthusiastically, very happily. So for example, as if our activities is primarily to generate to make money, and then when we see that particular actions will make a lot of money, so when we already see those the outcome, then we would we'll be very will have a lot of enthusiasm and the pleasures to do whatever we have to fulfill the activities. So in same way, it's important in order to to enjoy the meditation practice and also achieve accomplish the result of meditation practice, we should to trying to understand the benefits, what benefits we can gain from the meditation practice.
Ne pena jase chimo shawa le shenju kasla dombo ni shunju sen pen su jo res teno jigo ni jitsu shongge go ni tu je kasla ne njewa no che te ni toma su jo res atzo ni toma su ji je karesna ne dejan jewul towa chavishata jewu ya po je wa hakusuna ne te ti te lan ju ngro wa te ji che ne te su jo re de yin za ma zu ni ganja kasla yo so ne jewu ya po to je ya po de ke chmores.
You find that even some of the texts that some early great master wrote, like for example, the Shantidevas, like a text called the Bodhisattvas Way of Life. So which in the first chapter, of that text is on the benefit of, he explain the benefit of generating of bodhicitta mind or the altruistic mind of enlightenment, and then in the Maitreya's text like the ornament of clear realization. So where again the first chapter is on the it talks about the omniscient mind of a Buddha. So this is all. Because they see, and because it is important, it is important how it is important that in the beginning, right? In the beginning, that one understand the benefits of this, the learning and benefit of one's practice, and so because when you have when you have a strong like a desire to gain to achieve all those benefits, and then you would naturally have you will have a joy to follow the path or the practices.
Anenta so jiga gonti ga mi pala tsichita ma mine ane gon shi di sala ne ane ta chache zo na te karesna ane da nyima la kama kasi jage na te pi pa ma chepa ane tsendi chine ne jirimbo patal ne gonja te ane ta nyima la kama nga gongge na ne sonyi to nyina yiste nyima jama chepa ane gonja te da ane ya te kale khasuno seshu ma choba ane controla somo zawa ti kadu to chelpi zewa gone ane zoko ete zewa goko ete ane chache zo ni rete ndus.
So for the effectiveness of our meditation practice, then one very important condition, factor is to be for us to put up, consistent effort in practicing meditations. So is depending on whatever the length of time that you meditate on an everyday basis. So you do the same meditation on every day, each day for over a long period of time, and that again doing such is very important, and also to we have to always have to make sure that whenever we face some the obstacles, in our practice, then we don't lose our motivations, and we like by becoming losing our own temper, but rather we should then important. It is also important to be patient, to be patient with ourselves and with our practice, and so not be easily falling under the influence of angers. So therefore, these are the very important factors that we have to always have to apply in order for our practice to be very effective and
Yeah, gone you that is la kanga te tesiwares. Penani nima kashel sola ya porewata. Ya kashin sola ya tesi ya pomrewata no yusiwares. Ani tindi inzaya da ya po yungo mundisen machawache ni tin jeotela yune sono tomaina. Ani yon seshu la yung letowares.
So and we also cannot expect ourselves to be, to whenever we engage in do the practice, we always feel very positive and feel good about it, and so it is the natural that some day we might enjoy our practice, but some other day we don't enjoy as much. But then, however, when we don't enjoy the practice, but then we should not, feel ourselves discouraged from, the continuing the practice. And this is time that when it's important for us to in order to maintain our motivation for the practice, that we should remind ourselves about the benefits. About the benefit, like we were talking before, the benefit of the continuing the practice and so on.
Ani kaka gon jadi sala ni tongche watni yungres. Tongche di sala ni ya tela ti zembo zone ni uye na tongche di sala ta mesoja te mesoja grima to ya tela montane ni te zone uye ta so pi zembe ngone ta. Ani ti chi ochu chimbu jade towa mepa ochu chimbu jade wa ina ani jiku goachine jani mandenge. Ani goanja sa sajat son tong du sala yo. Ani shu to denge. And
then if you get like a very tired, if you get tired in doing the practice, and then it is important then that we should not forcing ourselves to even trying harder to do the practice, and rather instead of that it might be more beneficial than to just take a bit of time off the practice to find a bit more time for rest, and so in this way, so it's not like we should not think the practice is something that it's like a job that we are obliged to do, we are forced to do, and so because instead of taking, in the time when we get ourselves, very tired with the practice, instead of taking rest, if we force ourselves, then it will we will only find it then harder to continue the practice, and then this way we get more we will completely lose our interest and motivation for the practice, and to the point that even that the afterward, even at the site of wherever we are usually do the meditation practice, might be a bit upsetting, might upsetting for ourselves.
Nia Tonche because Meso Joggerti Inaya, Ni Lily Unki Monroe is occurs. Carisana Pena, Ni Neso Jat Salania, Tendo Chiso Gokone, Jirimbo Deco, Dewata. Yachi Lelo Ta Jimal Javi Sombegani, Goneni, Jema Jirimbo Pajawata. Yachi Tang in Jesa Marison and Tini Sishu Chovala Supa. Ani Tindigi Lelo Mutanwanyamares.
So having this said about the importance of taking a bit of break from the practice, and then we should rest, take a bit of rest from the practice. Having said that, so we should be also very careful again of not completely again fall under any form of like what we call as a laziness. So the laziness comes comes in different forms, different types. So it can be sometimes instead of to take a rest, then we might decide to do something else, and then say that's whatever we decide to do. It is something very really wasteful of our time, and then to spending a lot of time in that, and that is called like a form of laziness, and so we should not fall into that kind of laziness. And and as well as we take a rest, and then but we also take a too long time, to get back to our practice, we to keep, so in another word, keep, procrastinating, to going back to the practice. So that's also form of laziness, and then it is also laziness can also, comes in this form of where we says, this practice is too hard, too difficult, and then we losing the motivations and the spirit to continue practice. So these are the things again we have to watch the laziness, as while we trying to overcome these the tiredness and the hardship that we face in continuing the practice.
Tatering also gong ju da kama kashi che otela ane da susuga uinjunga la mine ane kama kashi che tana yabu yores uinjunga te matsu sambal mil mashowa tembo majewa ane letumbo atsul pe yabu yores rwa te zani uinjunga la mine ane matsu tsumega ane mim sent jasha jia tomba uinjunga la mine ane gong kama kashi ju da che gos.
So we'll now continue with our usual breathing meditations for just for a few minutes, and so in this meditation, so we as much as possible, if one can, when one should try to have the like the 100%, mental attentions on the breathing in and out, and not letting any thought of any object to arise, but we can try to keep the mind, place the mind just on the breathing for a few minutes. So breathing, as I always say, using the breathing as an object there's added benefits, because it's unlike any other objects. Breathing is something which is very, as an object, is something very familiar to us, because we are always breathing. So so therefore it's easy to remember, and that's why it's also there's an added benefit of using the breathing as an object for our mind to focus on. So we will begin the meditations. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we now continue these the teachings from where we left last week. So this to quote these the words of a great teacher, Geshe Lobsang, he who said that all the teachings by Buddhas and the three trices by latter masters on sort of latter masters are the means of subduing mental continuums, and without subduing the mind, then even if you like physically or mentally you engage in virtuous in virtuous actions for as long as for aeons, and he says that you are not but you are not creating a cause to achieve liberations.
Ani tati tenda karisungo arsena ani ngacho suje chone de chiga kada ani di gol pende tar chiga su te chila sopa tsama te su jang tsama te ngacho ani se control sopi unta masoma ani ta devega se ani dewa yong cheta ani tni su jo yores kasi sente ndama tawache ani control supi yongod sumi gone ji tani legal hal shon sawato ni ngwa kilal tewa phiwala supa kase muka kase shejana yo ani susul dewal se tawis shira yo mare sente tani sungo yores.
So in these lines, so we can clearly understand that the purpose of all the teachings that are given by the Buddha, and then the commentary or the treatises written on these Buddha's words by the latter masters. So all these teachings are for the purpose of controlling or subduing our mind, and so therefore, so accordingly, so when we follow those teachings in practice, then we must also ensure that we aimed our practice at subduing our mind, so such as subduing our mind from being controlled by, from being overpowered by, like such as angers and so on, and so then there is a benefit. Whatever we practice, we do, then will derive some benefit to us, like in terms of the enhancing or bringing more peace and happiness. So there's a real benefits when the practice, whatever the practice, if we apply this teaching in the practice to with an effect of some subduing our mind, then there's a benefit. So otherwise, as this master says, all the other external practice we do, like for example, we can do physically, we can do as part of the practice, we can we do prostrations, which is to express our homage to the to the Buddhas and so forth, or we may be saying some prayer to offer our praise to the noble beings and so on. But at the same time, while we're doing these physical activities, while we're doing this, if our mind is not, if our power is under the influence of the anger and so on, if the mind is not checked, then, as this master is saying, then there is really, in real term, then this our practice has not much, has no result of the benefit in the form of bringing more, inner peace and happiness for ourselves.
Dewa singitelani moje ushe la tene dewa chida ni yeje dewa sene dewa nishi yores ushe la tene dewa singete ngazo mi gazu ya potran tomata na we danya potran nya susul dewa chigrwa tene dewa tdo ni yedeji nishi yores.
So the happiness that we seek in our life. So usually, there's a two levels of happiness. So one is on the level of our sensory experience, which is like the with the eye sense, with the eyesight. When we have a contact with some beautiful objects. Or through our hearing, if we have a contact with some a pleasant sound. So, and then this brings some sort of a pleasure and happiness in us. So that is the form of pleasure or happiness on the sensory levels. And then there's also the happiness in the on the level of on the mental levels, so which is not depending or conditioned upon such external factors, external objects. So rather, it arises. We experience that on the mainly on the mental levels.
Kandana sand dewa to sing dewa te ne yech dewa re deores. Karisana ne ta lide secreta umbi dewa te do ocean coach dewa te do ne yede ni shu sichewa yersana yede te shu chewa yores.
So in the teachings, when we hear about this word happiness, seeking happiness. So it is referring to this happiness on the mental levels, or the inner happiness, and so there is a reason, because if we compare the outer happiness on the which we experience on the sensory level and the inner happiness on the mental level, then if we compare this, then the one that we happiness that we experience on the mental level is more important, in the sense that is more has a greater influence, has a greater value for us.
Pena ne ta chipa na wutno chizo dengetni ina ne lil na chan za to po ye na ya ko chipa jina ne chipa ya po jina lil na cha te so ta chengme ga zo so ja sa dipati ga ne ta tigle ga shu ga je gon da wo re ta te ya po re so ne ta chengme ga le di jo so so te ta ni ga ton ro so so ji ga ni ko ne chapa sono to di chala ne eni ta lig na chala su pi du ga ti ga ko yela ane du ga te te ga ma res.
So the inner happiness or the happiness or the mental happiness is more like more influential, and also is more in a more kind of like a sustainables in a sense. Because this is something, it is like, as a, if someone who is in, who is, are good at their as meditation or at their spiritual practice, then can they maintain that the inner happiness, even if, like externally or outwardly, even if they face some the difficulties, face some the unwanted experience, such as if they have some physical illness, and then which can be can be very painful experience, but yet they can, by the cultivating a certain way of thinking, certain the perspective of their these physical illness, such as how the understanding that these illness are the recognizing as a result of one's own like a past karma and so forth, and this is all part of one's own the kind of inevitable part of our life that we not just one that everyone go through that. So somehow the person can who be through this training of one's mind through this different cultivating a different way of thinking, then can overcome that that external the disadvantage and can stop it from disturbing one's the inner happiness also. So how, if you look at some some sports, the persons, the how because of their their ambitions and their strong interest in the sports, being achieving success in their whatever sport they're perceiving, and then they can really take a great amount of physical physical pain, physical hardships, and such that these are all for them because of their mental their determinations, their spirit to be a successful sports persons, that they don't even feel, they don't see those one of the injuries and the difficulty they have to go through, hard work that they have to go through in the training and so on, as a burden, as a difficulties. So these are also the all comes from the mental mental perspectives, and they will rather the even to even see them as something like a positive to going through that difficulties.
Ne deval tigre sono tune lego mato ihi tune sono teso tung tayo mares garesena ta ni po yaje shinbi 가세 뭐 야포션 야제한로 창의거니 무존진 따온 세나요 니보 야제요 침보시고 요리 가르 그거네 요리때 이나야 아니 지도세 그러다 진짜 머르자 아니 둥아 군 마시 봐 세마시 봐데 타나니 가제네 루시장이도 노 용도 왔어 아니 저거네 다 니비거니 umbi shipal dewa jimato, ni yet shipal dewa halewaji tetagio mares.
And then on the other hand, we can also observe how there are some people who are been the externalists. They are surrounded by all this the good conditions, with the success of their wealth, and their they have the good names, reputations, and all that. And despite all this, how they can, internalize, they are very unhappy, very they live a very like a frustration, they frustrated life, and so therefore, we can observe that the external good factors of the external conditions are not really doesn't automatically brings that the joy, that satisfaction that we always perceive in our life. So this is to show that how trying to show that how the show the difference between the outer inner happiness and the outer happiness. So in such that when we have found inner happiness, you can be in that state of happiness regardless, even if we are externally we do not we lack all those happiness. On the other hand, but if we lack the inner happiness, and then how externally, if we have all the factors for the happiness, we can be, we cannot be in the state of happiness. So now to go back to the topic that we're studying. So here we come across the topic to contemplate and to meditate on is called death impermanence. So now this is also this meditation on death impermanence. So it's also the purpose of which is to really to controlling or to subduing our mind. So when we think of the death, then we all, there's no doubt that we all know that that is something that we will have to face. It will come to us, to every one of us, and then also when it comes, then of course we lose our own this life, this body, as well as we lose we become separated from all our material possessions and all our friends and all that. So now then here and which is all of course to being separated from all this, from your body, from the wealth, from your friends, of course is not something pleasant, and we can also get a bit frightened. Can get frightened about that when how I'm going to cope with that when this happens. But then at the same time we have to think, of course, this is the realities that one have to face. You cannot stop that. You cannot stop the death. So by the fact that it is a fact that the birth result in death. There's so therefore this natural course of things, and so therefore when we meditate, when we meditate on this death impermanence, so we have to be our purpose, our aim is not so we can actually stop this the death to come. That is not the aim. And also we should not be also aiming our death impermanence, so that we don't get too frightened at that when it comes. To be of being frightened of being separated from or losing all that things that we cherish. So by knowing that. By knowing that this regardless, this it is the course of nature, and it will just happens. So whether we like it or not, or we get frightened or not, it will this will happen. So therefore, it is saying that the death impermanence. So what is important is to through the death impermanence, then we will the experience of death. Is rather than be something very frightened and something not welcoming, so rather it will become like something welcoming, something going to one's own home, living just like as if this is the body that we are living is not just our old body, so we just exchange, leave this body but going to a different body, or to going to how. When you, after a long traveling, if you are going to your own home, there's a feeling of this joy there. So this we could have that kind of experience, through as a result of this death impermanence, and following the death impermanence, then as a result of the practices that we follow in our life, we do in our life, such as the engaging in the 10 virtuous actions and or 10 positive action, and while the getting rid of 10 non-virtuous or negative actions.
Ani chawa to bayune yundo gomba ina kare orsena ngaso pena ngaso ndene jaka jimbal jin rogo wa ina roshi thadi zogro. Rogo yuyung son de wa ina roshi thadi ngate zogro wa. Den ujire de ores ki shimal chawa to ba gona shimal che shimal rogo che shimal ne roya ga thadi chegro was. Ine yota dikal topa kare itisena wana mele thadi trozo chendel dewa yo mareve. Dewa Driyatni, do in Nekasalani, any Dewa Driyat Kariore, say Shimegan, Roshi Drova, Tetonjigo, and it's until Dewa Shol lady quarters. Karisana, Seshimel and Roshi Zovala, and Muget Chibu Central suppose, Swingers, Gewatela support druggers. Nay, they did to this alone, somebody digger, that Lele Renor, Kunti Mutan Rogo, Niamu Mutan Rogo Yomaris. Nay, Scientific Devate, show letting in which they were.
So the reason why, or the benefit of this, the meditation on death impermanence, which will bring to us is to so we do some. It motivates us to do some preparations for our next life journeys. So it's like how we would when we know that we are going to some different place, on a particular day. Then before that day comes, we will do prepare ourselves for the journey, to making sure everything that we need are all in good orders. And so now, then, if this is the case, then we will. If we think that if you worry about preparing for the next future life, then you might miss out something in enjoyment, some happiness in this current life. But in fact, you will even live better in this life, and find more happiness in this life by the preparing for the future life. So it is said in the scripture says that the one who when we prepare ourselves for the future, for the better rebirth of the future life, then we automatically find all the as a byproduct of the whatever we have to do to prepare for our future life. As a byproduct of that, we will find more happiness and more satisfaction in this life. So this is because we will find this bit in this teaching later on. So all we'll find out in the teaching in terms of what we have to do to find a good rebirth. So it is all about to engage in more Dhamma practice. Such as engage in more, making sure that we do more, whatever actions that we do are more positive, more wholesome, and so that is the where while we should try to minimizing the unwholesome and negative actions. So these are the things, the doing the positive action and then getting rid of negative action. So these are the main things that we have to do to prepare for our future life. And so by doing this, so as a result of that, when we do this action, then, as I said before, by the product of that, then automatically we find more happiness in this in our current life also.
Anita nyamba chawa song bas ta nyamba chawa song ta tni ko gonja ko resro ta tela jitse sanji ko ni gonja ko res karisna ta loni jas jitse to mbote karse loni jas ngesla ta mo saya mo le de yore te ina tandi kaslo ji de yo marwas tenoji ta ngawo ta lo janje ji ko lo mare shagri so so doshi 야지 ngaso sete lokase deguena ta shangme kuzoti leji ungi ne tniji ponja iris tel nembe jagi chitiyo maris re ma zundo iri mato ani tni ta re ma zundo isa ngange ma chiro re eso so do bashita ya ni pimbo de moto paris ro ni pimbo de moto paris 대인사 피모 못어봐서 끼치르르네 존도 그랬어. 그 조소나 피모 tellatebe ngatew 존도 그랬어. 봐. 대인사는 강연받아 신로 그래서네. 네 진짜 쓰지 거네. 네 냠바 쳐와도 손도 똑같은데 있어.
So according to this text, then we meditate on this death impermanence. In terms of like three, what we call the three roots, and then there are 9 reasons. So anyway, the first root or the first point is is recognizing that that death is certain to come, and so to gain this, to realize this, the certainty of the death, then we have to reflect. We have to reflect on the how no one in like say, if you think back in the last 200 years, then past 200 years, then you can imagine how many people who born or who lived in those years. There's millions of people there, and all gone now. There's no one have lived, and so this is all shows the fact that everyone who's born then result in the death. So this all clearly indicates that the death is certain to come for oneself, and then likewise, if we think of this, how our lifespans, our lifespans, how it always, every moment, then it is keep decreasing. We keep decreasing our how long we're going to live, regardless of how long you think of you will live, but every moment it is decreasing, and there's no added. We cannot add to our lifespans. So that's also kind of indicates again. That also indicate that it's the certainty of the death. And then from the perspective of how, if we think on this, our bodies that we have, which we are depend on our to live our life, and how it is so like a impermanence, and it is subject to like a agings and so on. So this also, as time passes, so the body also wears out everything in the bodies, wears out, and so in this means that you means the eventually, so we this body cannot then can sustain our life and sustain ourselves, and so that also is an indication of this certainty of death also. No. Also we should not also take these the meditations and the finding about the death as a something very something to like scaring us off the of and other than that, if not seeing any purpose, but rather the main purpose, the most important purpose is to so that we can make our life and our time, most meaningful, most useful, living our life, fullest. And so this, so it is to the main purpose. So the purpose is, of course, not to frighten us. It should not be our meditation should not end up like that, but rather, so through these meditations, as engaging these death impermanent meditations. So as we said before, then it kind of reminding to us about the fact that we cannot live this life forever, and so therefore we have to what we can do for the how we can better prepare ourselves for the future life, and then through this and then to really to instill the motivations to engage in like this spiritual or the Dhamma practice. So we'll leave the teaching for tonight here, but if any of you have a question, please feel welcome. A question? Yeah.
Sometimes when they talk about the Dharmakaya, there are two different types of Dharmakaya. Could you tell me what those two different types are and what makes them different?
그디 롭전의 대화도 민도로 Dharmakaya 추구 세조로 추구를 이해하러 당가서 하려 돼.
뭐는 그도 이제 지금
딩이 갈라고 했어. 딩이 개발 가르려 했어.
네. 뭐는 그 생이대 데려와다. 다 데라고 니야. 루진온다고 찾으면 뭐는 그 돌아오는 거는 진짜. 내 대답병 오지래 돼 그래서. 저와 봄비 뿜바. 답병 오지래 돼서. 아니 이시 지그 생이대 니 시병 오지래 돼서. 지도 정해서도 또 되게 시병 오지래.
간접 가시에게 망치기다 죽어서 하고 뭐 죽어서 가려고.
지금서 다 대설 지으려고 그래. 이 지금 대설 지으려고 그랬어.
죽고서 구세죠. 근데
지금 다들 지금서 해지면 지 고소하고 지존하고 어떤 지금 말아.
네.
대설 지으려고.
So your questions about the Dharmakaya, so which we English loosely translate as the truth body, truth body of a Buddha. So that's the perfections or state of perfection that you reach when you become a Buddha or when you become a fully enlightened being, right? So this truth body. So when you say truth body, is we're not talking about body as such, like this physical body, something. So which Dhammakayas or the truth body, so there are two aspects of the state of the perfections. So one is the state of perfection in terms of the our mind, right? When we mind reach to the complete enlightenment, so that's the state of the what we call as the Jnana Dhammakaya, right? The wisdom truth body. And then other aspect is called the nature truth body. So that is the nature which has a true aspect anyway. The perfections is more referring to the quality of the mind. When this our mind become the mind of a Buddha, and so this what happened to the quality of our mind. So there are, which is the nature truth body. So that there's a true aspects, true nature truth body of the one which is nature truth body, which is free of the what we call as a natural obscurations. Naturally abiding nature truth body, and then other ones called the like adventitious, temporary obscurations, free from that. So it's a state of abandonment. The qualities of the Buddha's mind which characterize the perfect state of the abandonment of all the obscurations, the both natural obscuration and the adventitious obscurations. Don't know if it makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.